Hey everyone, it's Bethany. Welcome back and Happy New Year. In this video, we are going to do a bunch of unfinished crafts, and I have some things to tell you about some of the things that I have not been completing. So we are going to do a video where we just complete all of the things that I have been meaning to do but have just not gotten to. And because this is one of your favorite videos that I do, I am going to dedicate myself to doing one of these videos every month in 2025 because that list of unfinished things is certainly growing. So we're going to go ahead and start off the year by getting some things done, and I'll explain a little bit more as we're crafting. So go ahead, grab all of those crafts that are either half done or have been on your list for a while, and let's get them finished. Okay, so one thing that I have consistently been bad about not finishing are my embroidery projects. So I am going to make time to do that this year. I have one prepped. I was actually going through my craft room with my mom the other day while she was visiting and showing her all of the fun things that I want to do. And I started thinking, why are you not doing them? It's just ridiculous. I either have not finished them or I haven't started them. So this year's resolution is to craft with what I have and to get some of my embroidery projects done. So I say all that to say that I prepped my first project. We are going to be doing a winter project very slowly. I have been saving this project for Christmas time, realizing that I don't have enough time during the Christmas season to be sitting around doing an embroidery project. So the project that we are going to turn into my winter project is this Candy Cane Lane bench pillow. I'll link everything that I'm using down below. I did get a brand new embroidery machine that you will see in the weeks ahead. I'm very excited about it, and I'm going to stitch this out. So I'm very excited. Everything is already prepped. Now, all that to say, something I need to get ready because this is unfinished is I wanted to have a little box. Let me remove these. I wanted to have a box for all of my little envelopes of my fabric that I'm going to be using on each square. So I'll go through this system once we start the pillow, but essentially what I did is I just pre-cut all of my fabric for each little quilting square, and I placed them in these little pouches. So I wanted to place where all of these were going to sit by my embroidery machine. That way I can just grab one and get going whenever I have a moment to start stitching these out. Okay, let's remove these. Now, this is a cute little scalloped box that I have. I actually used something similar to this in my videos before, and I made my daughter, she has the smaller version of this, something for her reading books. So I have the larger version, and it has been sitting in my craft room since, at least 2020, if not more, if not longer than that, waiting for me to do something fun with it. So I am going to just make it cutesy. I have a couple of rolls of pink vinyl that I want to use, and I'm going to put some cute little flowers all over this. Something that makes me just super happy to have. All right, let me get all of these prepped, and we'll get these placed on. Now, let's do this. All right, so this year I am absolutely going to be doing more of my embroidery projects. Those just got ignored last year. It was a very busy year, and so I just ignored it and I worked on other things. But like I said, I was going through some of my projects and it's just sad. And I don't know, life is short, and so I just want to make sure that I'm doing what I truly want to be doing always, right? So you'll still be seeing so many things and a great variety on my channel, but I'm definitely going to be making room for the things that are bringing me joy. Okay, so let's get these all done. I'm going to just kind of mix and match these and wrap these also around the edges of this little box. I'm doing a horrible job of weeding this. Okay, and then we're going to make this really just transform and be super cute. So let's start with, and I personally am going to peel these off like I would a sticker, but you certainly could use transfer tape for this. But if you're gentle enough, and I feel like I've done this so many times that it's just easy for me to do, but I'm just going to peel it off like a sticker, and I'm going to start here, and I will wrap around the edge. Okay, and you can, because there's no transfer tape on there, I'm just going to lightly burnish that and then just go through and put these all around. Okay, but again, being super gentle. I feel like vinyl is equally, and this is kind of a funny thing to say, but vinyl is equally durable but also delicate, if that makes sense. So it, you know, it lasts a good long while, but it also is a little delicate when you are transferring it. So always just be really careful there. Put one here, and I'll just continue wrapping these around and getting these all placed on there. Okay, and I will certainly have some leftover flowers to put on something else. I also should let you know that these are just about 2 inches. And I don't know that they're an exact square, but roughly about a 2-inch by 2-inch flower. And I thought that was the perfect size for this project. Okay, so there we go. And then I can just decide which one. I really like this side. I think that's very fun. Another thing that you can do, I like the look of it wrapping around the corners because obviously you're going to see that. But if you wanted to use an X-Acto knife to cut off the bottoms, you certainly can do that. So just another thing that you can do. I'm gonna save those for another project. And now I have these ready to go to sit by my embroidery machine, and I'm really excited about this. This is gonna be a super fun project. I can even keep this in the front as well. That way it's all organized. And then once this is all done, then I'll just take off the little labels from the envelopes and replace them with the new project and all of the new fabric. So this is gonna be really fun. I'm excited for you guys to see it. And I am just really, really dedicated to getting some of these projects all done this year. All right, I'm also going to make myself a new sweatshirt because new year, new book challenge. Last year, my book goal was 50 books and I tapped out at 71 books by the time New Year rolled around. So I was really happy with that. And towards the end of the year, I think I listened to 2 or 3 audiobooks, which I think I remember telling you in a video in the past that audiobooks are super challenging for me, but I ended up falling in love with it. It has to be the right book for me. It can't be too complicated. It has to be kind of like a light and fluffy read because otherwise I feel like I need to see the words if it's going to be more complicated. So I was really excited about that because I felt super productive. I was able to read and do other things that were, you know, beneficial or on my to-do list. So kind of felt like I was almost cheating in a way because I was getting so much done while reading. I loved it. So anyway, this year I'm going to try my best to get 100 books in. That's my reading goal for 2025. So I saw this SVG. It's been saved in my little favorites list for a while now. And as a reminder, everything that I'm using, the materials and where I'm finding these designs, I'll place all that information down below. But this is so cute. It says read more books, and I need a sweatshirt like this, all nice and cozy. Hopefully, let's see, was I supposed to? Okay, I need to leave that one alone. But I do need to take out the middles of these flowers. Okay, and then I have a really nice oversized gray sweatshirt. It's like a heathered sweatshirt. I'm really excited about it. I'm gonna place the design right on there. So this part says the read books, and then we have more in this pink color, which will be really cute. And we also have the middle of the flowers in the pink book. All right, let's get this all ready. So let me turn this over. Read books. Okay, and then on this little scrap piece that I had, we have the more, and then we also have the insides of the flowers. And what I did was I detached them in Design Space so that they just cut all together, and then I'm going to manually put them around or inside the little flowers. That way I didn't waste a lot of vinyl. So see how they're just all placed over here instead of having a whole big pink sheet with just little dots. That's just a lot of wasted vinyl for me. There is our more. So it's gonna look something like this. Read more books. And then I'm gonna trim this off. That way I can place all of these on individually. Okay, let's go over to the heat press. I'm going to really quickly press the first layer on, which is the white, and then I will proceed to let this cool down, peel off this first layer, the transfer sheet, and then I'll do the second one and the little insides of the flowers. Okay, I love how that turned out. I'm gonna let this cool quite a bit. And I just like to bring it over to a cold surface, which for me is my glass cutting mat or craft mat really. And I let that heat just draw out really quickly. Then I can peel it up. Now, something that you saw me do is I did put that layering sheet right back over my big vinyl because I don't want to expose any vinyl, actual vinyl, to my heat source. So it's just gonna protect it. So I have this big one on there. And then I have all my, and it's actually taking some of those little transfers off too. Oh, maybe not. Okay, and then I can go through and peel off the little ones as well, which are the pink ones. Okay, that one came off. We'll grab this one and this one, and then of course our words, just like that. Read more books. Isn't that cozy? I just love that. So fun. Okay, so there is a fun idea if you're a bookworm like me. If you want to put this on a tote bag, maybe your library book tote, that's very cute as well. But I love this. I love how it's oversized in that nice soft heathery gray. Very cute. Can't wait to wear it. Okay, this one is something that's more of a personal project, but I've been wanting to do it for a while now. So I have been wanting to have 2 dedicated totes for my bathroom, actually. One for like morning skincare and then one for nighttime skincare. I feel like it's all just a mess and I'd like to have a tote for each one I can grab in the morning and one at night. So I have these in my craft room that I hadn't used, which I'm really excited about because again, I'm going to be using what I have more and purchasing less this year where I can. And I loved how these are a caddy-like item because I like that I can grab them out of the drawer, but also that they have some areas where I can put bottles and stand things up where it's not just thrown into a little basket or box. So excited about that. Okay, what I'm going to do is, oh, I should have pre-weeded this actually because this is on the Hobby Lobby vinyl, which I really like. Oh, you can see that pretty well. And the carrier sheet or the cutting sheet is white, so it's a little bit difficult for you to see, but that's actually not too bad. Okay, and then I did get a new font and I'm excited about it. I like trying out new fonts and I was wanting something a little different, so I will place information on where I got it down below. And let me go through, because this is a little bit difficult to see, I'll just go ahead and do this really quickly, get all of these weeded out, and then we'll get these totes all decorated. Okay, so I think you can see that a little bit. This says good morning, good night, and then we have a variety of fun little flowers. And again, just like I did my little organizational box for my embroidery designs and fabric, I'm going to do the flowers like a sticker. So before I do anything else though, I'm going to grab my tote and I'm just going to apply some rubbing alcohol and clean it off really, really well. I go all the way around and make sure this is nice and clean. These are from, let's see, I'm pretty sure Target Dollar Spot, but you can find things just like this at Michael's. So go ahead and check that out as well. Again, I like the ones with the handles and then the organized compartments inside. I just think it really helps organize. Whew. Okay, there we go. And this should be nice and clean now. Okay, these have been sitting in my craft space, so now they're ready to go. Let's go ahead and do this one first. And again, grab scissors. And I'm just gonna trim the wording off and then leave my flowers for later. Okay, with my transfer tape, I'm just going to cover the good morning. Ooh, I barely got enough there, but just enough. And we'll burnish that down. I like to turn it over as well and do the back side. And then we'll just peel this away, leaving our design, in this case, wording, right on the transfer tape. Okay, good morning. And then we'll just reuse this for our good night sentiment. So let's go ahead and put this one on here. Oh, I love that font. That's fun. I love having something new too. Okay, let's see here. That looks about right to me. Let me see. There we go. We'll burnish this down really well. And then I'm just gonna take a little corner here. Whoop, still have some weeded spots. And peel this away. I've gotten really into skincare in the last year or so, and just being more mindful of taking care of my skin. So I feel like my bathroom went from the bare minimum to like all the things, which is good. You should take care of your skin, but it's calling for some organization that I didn't have before. Okay, let me actually not ruin this because we want to use it on the good night in a little bit. So let me set that to the side, and then I'm gonna grab the little stickers. Now, let's see, I did 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 times 4 is 40. So I did 40 of these flowers, and I think they're about 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to, I kind of like to roll the back side of the liner to help kind of bring these off. And then I'm just gonna place these all around my little caddy and get it all organized and fun. Okay, so that ended up being 20 flowers per caddy, and so I would recommend either cutting them just a little bit bigger, which I don't know if I would cut it bigger because I like it how it looks with the wording, or I would cut maybe 5 more, so maybe 25 would probably be just a tad better. I feel like the back is just a tad bare, but that's actually okay. No, I think that's all right, actually. Okay, so there is the good morning. I feel like something needs to change here. So I'm going to remove, something's bothering my eye. It just doesn't look quite right. I'm gonna remove before this kind of sets up. We're gonna take this and maybe wrap this way, which is gonna affect one of these. Hold on. Sorry, but this will bother me every morning. And I don't want to start my day off like that. Okay, so I'm gonna come back and fix that. We can put one of these back here where it looked a little bare. Okay, And then with this one, I'm just going to scoot it over. It was getting a little crowded for my eye. Okay, so if I put that like there, okay, I like that. I like that better. Yep, okay, not as crowded. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just copy and paste the same idea here. And again, reusing the transfer tape, just like that. Okay, here we go. And we'll burnish this back side. And we'll get the second one all done. Okay, there we go. Love how both of these turned out. Very cute. And I'm excited because I've been really wanting that organization. So today is the day to get that all done. Okay, again, if you're not looking to organize any of your bathroom drawers like I am, then you can do craft supplies or decorate these in any way to organize what's in need of organization at your house. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is sublimate a shirt for my daughter. I found a cute design that I wanted to sublimate on because of the variety of colors. It's just so much easier when you want a very colorful image to not have to do all of these colors of vinyl. But after I'm done sublimating, I am gonna go back and I have a little thing of HTV, a little strip here that I'm going to put on the shirt for some fun wording. Okay, so sublimation, if you're new to that, you have a whole new system to consider here. So sublimation is going to actually infuse the ink into the fibers of this shirt. So unlike HTV that just sits on top of the shirt, this is actually going to be heated into the fabric of the shirt. So it's really, really neat. And right now this is a very muted design, but once the heat is applied, this will take on a much more vibrant tone. But aren't they cute? So cute. Okay, so this is a shirt that can be sublimated on, which is important. You can't just do it on any shirt. It needs to have a really high polyester count in order for it to work. So I'll link this shirt down below. And then in order to print my design, I used my printer that is a sublimation printer, and I used paper and ink that are both sublimation products. So I'll link all of the stuff that I use down below in case you want to get into sublimation yourself. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to tear around my design. And what this does is it feathers the edges, because believe it or not, when you put the paper down on the shirt, if you were to have a harsh line like this, it actually leaves a line mark in the shirt, and it's quite annoying and surprising. So if you could just soften the edges by feathering them just a little bit, just like this, being careful obviously not to rip into your design, it makes a world of difference. I shared before that I decided to skip this step one time when making a pillow for my son's room, and I made that, let's see, he's now 3, and I made it 3 years ago. Yeah, I made it when he was teeny tiny, and I can still see the press lines from not doing this part on there. So truly it is an actual important step. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go ahead and get a piece of butcher paper to place inside the shirt. That way, if any ink seeps through, it doesn't go onto the back of the shirt. It'll be caught on that butcher paper that I'm gonna place inside. And then I'm gonna put a couple more pieces on top for the same reason. In case the ink comes up out of the paper, I wanna make sure that I catch that and it doesn't get onto my heat press. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna also lint roll the shirt to make sure there's no lint that is on the shirt before I place down my design. Okay, so this is the first time this has happened to me where I've had some ghosting. So my design must have shifted. As you can see, it did imprint on one area, but then it must have shifted a little bit and printed a little above as well. It's not, in my opinion, for my daughter, she's gonna love it, so it's gonna be okay. But this is a good example of what I should have done is taped this down. So I should have taped this so that it didn't shift. It probably was my butcher paper that kind of moved it at the last second, but honestly, it's obvious, but I think it's not gonna ruin the shirt. So we're gonna be okay. And good example for you to see that happen, and for me too, because in all the time I've been doing sublimation, which has been 4 years now, that's a first for me. So just be careful. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to add, and I think I used that same font, but I'll know in a second. She told me what she wanted. Nope, I used a different one. She told me what she wanted the shirt to say. So I think it says Puppy Pals. But again, this is iron on. And what I'm going to do is place this kind of, I was going to put it under it, but I wonder if I could put it over it a little bit, if that would be cute. We'll see. Okay, but in the meantime, I need to make sure that my heat press is cooled down in order to do this. So right now, in order to do the sublimation, it's at 400 degrees. And so I need to cool that way down because that's way too hot for my iron on. So in the meantime, that's going to take a little bit of time. In the meantime, I'm going to start another craft, and then once that has cooled down, we'll come back and finish this up. And in fact, if I just kind of do this, it kind of distracts from the ghosting just a tad, and then it kind of just looks like it's a little bit of a shadow effect in the back. So, you know, is it perfect? No. But is it going to work? I think so. Another thing is that you can see on my butcher paper that some of the ink did imprint on there. So I don't want to reuse this because this ink is still active and it will imprint on my shirt again. So I'm going to remove this. I'm going to look at this one. I don't think I have anything on this one. So when I go to place this down, just to be careful, I'll put this right back on there. Okay, so while that is cooling down, I am going to do one of the projects that I have in my Bella box. So I got this box a couple years ago and I still haven't used it. I think I got it 3 years ago, and I loved all of the fun things that you can do in here. I wonder if this gives us an idea of what's inside project-wise. Yes, so you can do these cute bookmarks, and then there's a little portfolio, which is really neat. There's a little tea towel, gives you some ideas for their products. And then this is the Create banner, which is what we're going to do today. I've already stitched out the first 5, but I need to finish it and finish my last little pennant. Here's some other things that are projects that you can do with all of the contents. This pillow is stunning. And so what I'm going to do is once a month-ish, I'm going to do one of these so that I can get this done, because this box has been in my craft room forever. So inside they give you pretty much everything just about to complete these projects. So you have your portfolio, there's a notebook that goes inside, there's the pillow, and then the tea towels as well. And then you have a little fabric kit and embellishment kit for you to cut down to use on these projects. So really fun. It's just been majorly on the back burner, obviously. So we're going to go ahead and be intentional about doing this year. So let's go ahead and do our little Create banner. I'm going to go over to my embroidery machine. Everything will be linked down below. Let's go ahead and get it started. I'm going to hoop my stabilizer really quickly and then pull up my design. We're going to get going. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab my Mighty Hoop here, and I think this calls for a wash away stabilizer, but I've been honestly using a tear away stabilizer and it's been working great. And my tear away stabilizer is also just a tad small for this hoop, but honestly I've been making it work and I've been pretty successful at it. So I'm just gonna center that the best that I can, and then I'm going to snap these together. Okay, so now it's right in there. You want it to be nice and taut so it kind of beats like a drum. And then I have all of the things that I need. So I have 2 pieces of felt that were included in the kit. I also have this fabric that was included in the kit, and then I have my own thread. So we'll go ahead and use all 3 of these. We are going to do an in the hoop project, and then we're going to also place something on the back in order to finish it up. So let's go ahead and get started. It's gonna be super easy. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do a placement stitch, and that's going to show us where to place our felt down. Okay, so it's done the placement stitch, and it's essentially just giving us a template of where we need to place our felt over. So we're gonna go ahead and make sure that that is nice and covered. And then I'm going to use some, this is embroidery, well, mine is actually medical tape, because you can use medical tape, or you can use their embroidery tape, and both are wonderful. I've used lots of their embroidery tape. It's wonderful, but Dollar Tree has medical tape that works just as well. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, again, that's placed over that line, and then we're gonna go back over to the embroidery machine. We're gonna do a tack down stitch this time that is going to make sure that this is nice and secure, and tack it down onto the hoop. Okay, let's go ahead and get that going, and then we'll go ahead and also let our embroidery machine stitch out the placement stitch for our letter. Okay, so now we have the little tack down stitch so that we have our pennant and it's all tacked down onto our hoop, and then it did the placement stitch for our fabric that's going to be the letter E. Okay, so now we know exactly where to place our fabric, and again I'm just going to place some of this tape right over it to make sure it's nice and secure. And what I'll do next is I'm going to change my thread to the pink thread, and I'm going to have it stitch out the tack down stitch again. So it's going to tack down this piece of fabric, and then we're going to trim it out before it does the decorative stitch. Okay, so now we have our tack down stitch, and I like to do that the same color as my fabric or whatever stitch color is coming next, because I just want to make sure that that matches and you don't see that tack down stitch underneath the decorative stitch. So now I'm just taking my embroidery scissors and I'm going to cut as close to those stitches as I can without trimming the stitch. If you do, don't worry, there's a stitch that's coming next, so it's gonna be okay, but I try my best not to trim one. Okay, and I just keep rotating my hoop as I go. As you see, the E is taking shape here. There we go. And almost done. This for me, everyone has a favorite part about the craft that they do, but for me the trimming, the applique is my favorite part. It's just very relaxing and gratifying. Another thing that I like to do after this is take a lint roller and just grab all those little thread pieces. Okay, so there is our E. Okay, let me grab my lint roller. I just like to kind of swipe and get all of my little pieces, and if I have any kind of straggler ones, I'll grab those as well before I do my final stitch. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and do the decorative stitch. So I'll go ahead and place this hoop right back on my machine, do the decorative stitch, and then we're going to place this piece on the back underside of the hoop. That way it can stitch once more and we'll have a complete little pennant. Okay, so it did the decorative stitch. Isn't that pretty? They're like little flowers, which I just love. Okay, the next step is turning our hoop completely over. We're gonna grab our remaining piece of felt, and then we're gonna place that right over that pennant shape there. So I'm gonna do that. And then because this is going on the underside of the hoop and it's gonna hang upside down, if you will, I'm gonna be generous and do tape on all 4 sides just to make sure that that doesn't fall. And the last thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna do 2 steps. So the embroidery machine is going to stitch the pennant one more time because that will attach the front and the back together, and they'll sew that together. And then it's going to do little round stitches here so that we can poke holes and put some either ribbon or rope through to hang our little banner. Okay, it's all done, and I forgot to mention that I did change back to the white thread before I did the final pennant stitch, and then it had the little circle stitches. So now we can officially unhoop. As you can see, it's stitched the back as well, so those pieces are connected. And you can certainly, you know, this is a tearaway, you can tear that away. I actually really like to keep it in because it offers a little bit of structure. And so you can also see that our first placement stitch was really far outside, but this is our final stitch. So we are going to do just about 1/8 of an inch outside of that final stitch. So I'm gonna cut this out. And again, I like the tearaway stabilizer because it gives it some structure and it also makes it very easy to cut out. So use a stabilizer of your choice. Again, I think that they wanted a wash away, but I've been really enjoying the tearaway for this project. Okay, so we'll finish off the bottom, and then we're gonna take any shear, really. I've just been using these. And what I do is I poke through. It's really easy to do. And then just make a hole big enough for what you want to pass through. So like I did try, let me grab the picture of what they want you to do, or their idea. Okay, there we go. I cleaned this up. Okay, so their idea was, can you see, they had like little ribbon pieces and it was kind of cute. I did do it, and then I just personally didn't like it for me. I didn't like the ribbon that was included. It kind of felt too papery. So I instead decided, I have some jute here, I decided to string it, and then I put these little wooden beads. I did 3. I did a kind of a medium, small, medium pattern in between each one. And again, this is the last of the pennants that I need to put on here. And I can also just make that a lot bigger so I can place this through. Sometimes I also get a fresh cut on the end so that it's easier. Okay, after you string it through there a few times. Oh, did I do that the right way? Yes, I did. Okay, I like it so that the string is on the back side. Okay. And then I gave myself generous amount on either side. I'm going to place this on my pegboard that you see behind me. So you'll see that in the next video. But let's go ahead and grab the ones that we would like. And I'm, again, just going to do a medium, small, medium. Or I guess it's a big, medium, big pattern of beads. I just liked how that looked. And that finishes that up. Okay, so there's one project. It's hard to kind of get all of it in there. There's one project from the Bella box that is done, which is so exciting. The next one I'm going to do next month is the bookmarks. So that'll be super cute. So I'll hang this up in a little bit, but in the meantime, my heat press has cooled down. So I'm going to go ahead and place this onto the shirt. Okay, so last little craft. I'm gonna go ahead and let this cool down. Again, it's not perfect, but it's a lesson learned, and I love lessons like that because they usually only happen one time. Then in the future, you're much more careful. Okay, so I'm gonna let that cool, place it on my cold mat. But I loved how everything turned out. The sweatshirt is one of my favorites. Can't wait to wear that. And here is that iron-on right on the top of that shirt. That's cute. I kind of like the layered look of that. It's very fun. Okay, so we have the shirt. We have our decorative little scalloped box for the bench pillow fabric that we're going to definitely get done this year. And then the crate banner was so fun. Glad I have that tackled, and I can put that up in my craft room and enjoy it all year long. And then of course we have our little bins. So I feel good because I got something done for just about everything that's kind of been on my heart to get done. So a little something for me just because it's exciting to start a new challenge in the new year for reading, something that's been sitting for quite a while. A dream that I've had is to get this done, and then getting something done for my little girl. And with the totes, I'm organizing a space. So I feel like I am stepping into 2025 feeling pretty good. I hope you enjoyed watching. Please let me know which of these crafts turned out to be your favorite. And then also be sure to check out down below, and I'll list all of the things that I used to bring these crafts together. I'll see you in the next video.